Test, 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 test. We'll be on in 2 minutes. Test, 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 test. We'll be on in 1 minute.
What is up, everybody? Welcome into Hoop State Hoopla. Webb Wellman's here. Webb, how you doing?
I'm great.
So, yesterday was fun.
Yesterday was entertaining for sure.
I don't know if we could top it, so sorry.
I mean, if anyone wants to call in and try, that would be great.
Yeah, Coach Stoneman, if you want to call us back.
Maybe not him, but someone who wants to have a conversation. Yeah, that would be.
Regardless, you did. I do want to bring. Has anything happened? Because you did say something between. At some point on the show yesterday, you said some point in between now and when we start tomorrow, something's going to happen. Have we?
No, I mean,
it's all quiet on the Western Front.
As far as I know. I think he called us. He said what he wanted to say, and I think he continued about his day. I mean, I
know we got a phone call from someone else that we know well, and he wasn't happy.
Yep. I think ultimately all that matters is that they show up on Saturday.
Yeah, and it sounds like they are.
They are. And West Charlotte deserves the test, and it'll now be even more interesting and entertaining.
I got a DM from one of the young, talented players at West Charlotte yesterday. He said, Oak Hill not ready for me.
Good, yeah. Yeah, I don't love being confrontational. I'm not afraid of it. No, let me finish. I don't love it,
okay,
but I'm not afraid of it. I'm not ever going to, walk away from it.
I mean, at the end of the day, he is from Kinston.
Right, yeah, and also, I don't know, it was more entertaining to watch it back than it felt in the moment, because in the moment, it just felt like he was just word vomiting, and that we were just
I was just doing my Kermit the Frog meme, drinking water.
Yeah, we were just along.
I didn't really know what to say, and I'm sure at times you didn't either.
Oh, I knew what to say the whole time. I just was making sure I didn't say, because again, the Lewises of it all, if that was my event, and it was just a Hoop State event, and he had done that to us, then I mean the approach for me might have been different. But like, I'm not trying to make life more difficult for Phenom or for the Lewises, especially they don't deserve any of that.
No.
The point of yesterday was just like, we're having a conversation about something that happened. Joe Badgett tweeted about it, so it was public information. And the coach, like, I will say, to his credit, like, I do like that energy. I like the energy of like, I don't like what you're saying. Let me call in live and have the conversation. There's not a lot of people that would have done that, so I do respect him in that regard. But also, like, if he thinks he did himself, like, made himself look good yesterday, that's a wild boy. That's a wild boy.
I do want to. You mentioned Joe on Twitter, so I remember. So Joe tweeted the initial thing. I quoted and said, "Hey, we're going to talk about this tomorrow on Hoop State Hoopla," and then. Joe replies, not a reflection at all what at OHA Coach Smith, so Steve Smith, spent the majority of life building to help kids around the world. And Steve Smith, after all the drama from yesterday, says, thanks, Joe. How's the golf game?
I'd be willing to bet Steve had no clue that anything was going on.
No, he's probably playing golf.
Yeah, 100%.
And as a guy that plays golf, do you blame a guy that's retired playing golf all day?
What people don't realize, so Oak Hill, Maltha Wilson doesn't have anything. The reason that Steve Smith was able to survive there is because all he did was play golf.
Yeah. He's probably really good.
No, he's got to be good. He's too tan not to be. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He's got that Greg Norman tan.
And then Joe Badgett said, getting cold out there, Coach. Let's get out as soon as weather permits. Hopefully you won't smack me around as bad this time.
Yeah.
Should we do a Hoop State sandbagger with Joe Badgett and Coach Smith?
So I again, it would be in the future, but I do think that there's like a fundraising charity element that could, we could do golf at some point.
Yeah, maybe get Carson McCorkle involved with his little foundation.
100%. There's a lot of players that mess around with golf, and there's also like again, you put somebody funny with people that are good, and you kind of mix and match the groups. There's also a lot of content that could be
yeah, for sure. So we did have kind of moving on from that. I mean. We just leave that where
I didn't get a lot of negative feedback.
No, I didn't really either. I think all the feedback I got was positive. I had a really funny conversation with Ryan Bernardi afterwards. He said it was content gold. He's like,
Ryan Bernardi, listen, bud. I want you to remember this because we're going to see y'all twice this year, and I don't want to hear anything about we won't play them. We won't play like. Show up, win, dominate, prove a point. Like, I'm trusting you on that, but like, that is a concern of mine.
And to be fair, if you were to deal with anything, it's above Bernardi, for what it's worth. But
I guess. But again, this is a situation where it's like, who you're playing from the get-go. We talked about it from the beginning. Don't hit me with some sideways stuff after we book the flights. That's not what's happening, but I'm just saying, like, there's only one team in our universe where I'm concerned about this fifth-year nonsense, and it's that.
Well, yeah. And, I completely get it. So, moving back to college basketball.
Yeah.
We had really, really entertaining games last night. Did you watch any or see any of it? Because I know you were working on Road to the Rapids. So, Michigan State played Kentucky.
I saw some conversation online about the Duke game. That was about it. And I saw Rod say something about Carolina is not number one.
No. That's kind of what we're going to lead into with this in general. Because State played last night, looked really good. Louisville lost to App State last night. So now Louisville is 0-3 with losses to App State, Wright State, and Bellarmine.
Yikes.
So, Kentucky, Michigan State. Kentucky got Chibwe back. He came off the bench. He had 22 and 18. He was a monster. But we see this all the time with Michigan State early in the year when they're not ranked or ranked lower, and Tom Izzo just draws plays up.
How old is he, by the way?
He's got to be late 60s, early 70s. I mean, he's a real G, too. Like, has been doing this for a long, long time. But the two plays they ran, one to tie it, both to tie it, one at the end of regular. How old is it?
67.
67, yeah. They ran one play to tie it at the end of regulation. That was crazy. Right off the inbound, it led to a dunk. And then the other one was a dunk as well. It was off the inbound from under their own basket, and they just drew up a crazy set, and it led to a wide-open dunk for, I think it was Hall. But just Michigan State gets a 9-point win over Kentucky. Kentucky has a lot of talent on their team, but they're not quite, I guess, see young guys.
Yep.
They have some
Always.
transfers. They have transfers. They have older players, but I don't know. I don't know what to make of this Kentucky season. A lot of I know Ken Palm had him preseason #1.
I hate to say this because I love John Calipari, but like if we're being honest, the last few, honestly, like probably since COVID on, NIL on, he's, I don't want to say playing catch up, but like it's not been the same energy and the same vibe that we're used to. There was even a point in time I remember where people were talking about he's leaving.
Yeah. I don't hear that from a few people.
Would be crazy.
Well, I don't think he's leaving if you consider the class he has coming in.
No, well, that's what I'm. Even like to me, if John Calipari leaves Kentucky, in my mind, John Calipari's done with college basketball.
Yeah, no way.
You stay at Kentucky, or you go to the NBA, or you retire. And I would imagine for Cal, his next job when he's done coaching this Kentucky situation is a front office position in the NBA, not a coaching position.
Yeah. Maybe it's an AD position or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. But I would imagine he's going to the NBA.
Yeah.
Just not as a coach.
But that class that he has coming in is crazy, so they're going to be finding a little fly on set.
No flies in here. Too clean.
No flies out. So yeah, Kentucky takes a tough loss to Michigan
Hoops
State.
said the inbounds play was crazy.
Who?
Rain Hoops in the chat.
Oh, really?
Inbounds.
It was nuts.
Crazy.
Like the decoy they had set up, like it was really, really impressive.
Also, somebody in the chat called you Daddy Pasta, which makes me uncomfortable.
What was the name?
Ashton Davis.
Dude, Ashton, that kid's like a super fan of mine. Shout out to Ashton.
It's called you Daddy.
No, I'm completely disavowing that, but
okay, good.
I think Ashton is the most consistent Be Real reactor I have. Every single Be Real I post, he sends the same little thumbs up reaction. I respect him for it. Nice. I think I don't know if he goes to Middle Creek, but I don't know. And I
want to read this one too. There's one more. So someone said Oak Hill. I'm going to read it exactly how it's written.
Can you say who said it?
Somebody named Tyler W.
Okay.
I'm going to read it exactly how it's written.
Okay.
Oak Hill is not scary. Y'all don't know nothing. No is spelled N-O. So we might not know nothing, but we know how to spell. So anyway, that's where we are now. Go on with your college basketball.
I'll say neither of us are necessarily like grammatical experts. Like we were having a conversation before.
No, that one's tough.
That's a tough look, bud. That's a tough look.
And I also think he was going for Oak Hill is not scared.
No, they're scared, bro.
Not scared.
They're scared.
Either way. Thanks, Tyler.
Duke, Kansas.
Yes.
Bobby Pettiford, 18 minutes, not crazy stat sheet, 2 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, but helped his team win.
Yeah.
Grady Dick, I think I saw an article today that says he has the most punchable face in the country.
That's funny. Why? Don't give him the Grayson Allen treatment, you know?
I guess.
Does he deserve it? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
He's also one of the funniest kids I've ever seen on TikTok, like, period. Both teams, Duke shot 3 for 21 from 3. Kansas shot 3 for 19 from 3.
Yeah.
Duke is still without arguably their best player, John Wall Holiday alum, Dariq Whitehead. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think a lot of...
freshman?
Yeah, he's a freshman. Him, Filipowski went 6 for 18, but he did have 14 rebounds. Roach was just trying to do too much. And then there are other guys like Lively still getting up to speed. So Mark Mitchell was solid, but...
So wait, Duke's best player this year is Dariq Whitehead?
In theory.
Okay.
They're pretty well-rounded, though.
Sure.
Like, they got a bunch of guys that could be the best player on any given night, like 5 or 6 guys.
Right.
But at least I think...
No player of the year candidates. Right.
Nah, it's going to be more of a balanced attack. I love John Shire. I think John Shire is going to do just fine, and I think you see that with the way he's recruiting. And this was a close game. It was 69-64. Race to 69. Shout out to Tate.
I just need to see, like with any coach, especially like in that situation, I agree with everything you said about John Shire, but it's like, okay, you've proven you can get recruits, but now it's like, make sure they get to campus. Now you've got to have a championship run. You don't have to win one, but you got to like
go on a run at least at some point in the next 1 to 2 years.
You got to control the egos and manage the talent, and you got to again be a contender, and you've got to send guys to the NBA.
Yeah.
So like that, we'll see those things happen. Year one, obviously, like it's not all going to happen quick. But
no, but Duke fans have. My point is, Duke fans have no reason to be freaking out over a 5-point.
No, for sure. And like even as like a State fan looking back on like the Sidney Lowe, Mark Godfrey days, like early on, it was like, oh man, they're recruiting, like they're getting players. This is going to be awesome. They just couldn't do anything with them.
Yeah.
Which is a problem. So what we know for sure is Shire and staff are doing great on the recruiting trail. Now, can they take what they're getting and turn it into the Duke brand of basketball that like we all are used to?
Yeah, for sure.
Which is not easy. Not easy.
No.
Hubert Davis and John Shire both are in positions where it's like it's damn near impossible.
And that's kind of what I want to lead to, because Carolina struggled with Gardner-Webb last night. I was at their game right behind the Charleston bench on Friday, and Charleston was up 7 at the half. Armando Bacot took over. They got the win by about, I think, 14.
Which is going to happen a lot.
Yeah, especially when you're playing a mid-major team that doesn't have, I mean, Charleston's best big is like 195, 200 pounds. So it's not going to be the easiest thing for them. But with all that being said, and State 3-0, 2 huge monster wins, 1 closer win against Campbell. Campbell shot the shit out of it. And then Terquavion Smith didn't shoot it well last night, but had 5 rebounds, 7 assists.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think that, and I obviously, like, I'm biased and people are going to disagree with this depending on your loyalties, but it's hard. I mean, I guess the argument on Tobacco Road is the best 2 players are Armando Bacot and Terquavion Smith.
Yeah. So Wake Forest got taken to overtime at home last night by Utah Valley.
Yikes.
Yeah, they won, but yeah.
Yeah, I think for Carolina in general, like, I would prefer not to be the preseason number 1 team.
Yeah.
I think it, and honestly, like, I think Carolina will be better served once they lose a game.
Yeah.
Like, just get it out of the way. Kind of like the teams that are going undefeated towards the end of the year. If you see them lose, a lot of times coaches are like, I did not want to go into a tournament like this. Like, get this out of the way, boom, done.
Yeah, like that Kentucky team with Cat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I just think that Carolina needs to get a loss out of the way, get that number 1 off of them, and just get back to just playing basketball. So they do have a dominant, like, Armando's capable of taking over, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
So I'll say this: at the game, Caleb Love balled.
Yeah,
balled. When I was at the Charleston game. There's a little bit, and you learn a lot when you sit up close to the game.
Yep.
About the interpersonal dynamics with the team. Caleb Love and RJ Davis, they got to figure it out, because they were getting frustrated with one another. Caleb Love is having Anthony Edwards possessions where he's just kind of standing there with his hands on his hips, and they got to get that figured out. I think they will. I think they're capable of it. And at the end of the day, it's college basketball. It's just about getting hot at the right time. At the end of the day, like, you got to put yourself in position, but if you can get hot at the right time, you'll be fine.
It is telling, though. I mean, your preseason rank that high, you've got whatever they've been practicing together for a minute. Like,
well, Caleb and RJ, this is their 3rd year.
That's what I mean. Like, that would be a little concerning for me. And you want to be like, yeah, well, they'll figure it out. Well, yeah, they might, but also, like,
they might not.
They might not.
Yeah, they might not.
That's cancerous for a team to have guys kind of not on the same page, button heads, whatever. That could be not great.
Yeah, no, it definitely can, and I do think that they're going to have some things to figure out, and I think they're going to get tested here soon. I'm actually about to look at their schedules coming up. Because
I think Duke is, like, if Duke and State play each other, who's favored right now in that?
Oh, Duke.
Duke's still favored.
Duke is probably an 8-point, 9-point
So you think
favorite.
it goes Carolina, Duke, NC State in terms of Tobacco Road?
I think it goes Duke, Carolina, NC State.
Duke, Carolina,
Yeah,
NC
I think Duke's a better team right now. Duke has Ohio State coming up, and then they got Iowa, and that's really it non-conference for them. They have a pretty light non-conference slate.
And NC State hasn't played anybody yet, right?
No.
Right. Okay.
No. But they will.
Right, yeah.
Soon. Very soon.
Who do they have in the Big Ten deal?
I want to say Indiana.
Yeah, that's usually what it is.
I could be wrong, but I'm about to look and see. Because I know that, like, for NC State, that Kansas game has got to be circled on the calendar. They play Elon this weekend at home. They're in the battle for Atlantis. They play Kansas. And then Carolina. Who does Carolina play? Because there's, how every year there's, like, Battle for Atlantis and that Maui Invitational?
Yep.
They're doing another Nike thing this week, coming up soon with Carolina. I think. It's like the PK80 or whatever it used to be.
Yeah. Is that in Portland?
It is. And Carolina plays Portland in the first game, so there's like a bracket, I guess. Maybe look up the bracket for that and see what it looks like and who Duke is playing in that as well.
Carolina's got Indiana.
I don't even know who State has in the Big Ten Challenge, but
wow. So Carolina's just got 3 more games, and then they start playing.
Well, no, they're going to have it's a tournament at the PK at the Phil.
Well, no, I just mean like December 4th is our first ACC matchup.
Yeah,
that's crazy, and they play Ohio State and Michigan.
I don't even see NC State's Big Ten Challenge game. Maybe they don't have one.
They might not have one.
It'd be kind of weird. It's just not even on here. I don't know. And Wake Forest, we'll see what they end up doing. But
yeah, no, they don't have one. Because they get right into it. They got the only non-conference game for NC State that is going to
well, that's a tournament though too.
Kansas.
That's a tournament though too. They'll be playing other teams down there. Max will be there too.
Yeah.
Should have Max on the show Monday to talk about all the stuff he's got going on right now.
That's awesome.
So, what do we have next?
That was Wayne Country Day.
Wayne Country Day last night beat Northwood Temple. I want to say 91-52.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Crazy.
That's a lot of points. Like that. Like take away the margin of victory. Like 92 points is a lot of points.
Yeah, it's absurd. So I'm gonna look at the graphic, and I know Jack posted it. He kind of texted me after the game and was like, "What?" Yeah, 91-52, and Wayne Country Day is a team that you mentioned. You said they might be a Colin Tanner away. And obviously, if they had Colin, they'd be a lot better. But that is a big, big statement win over probably the biggest team, like from a size perspective, in the state. And who do they play this weekend coming up?
Wayne Country Day plays Northwood, Pittsburgh.
That's going to be a good game. Drake Powell, UNC commit. They got a footer over there as well. They got the Max kid that's like 6'7", 6'8". They got a lot of other good players. And then Wayne Country Day, they got Vasquez, Nasheen Waller, who punched on one of those 7-footers last night, and Jordan Cooper. So
I'm looking to see if I was looking for the stats from that game.
I don't even know if they have it.
Nah. The full game recap is available on WJG Sports, but I don't see a box score anywhere. The Northwood Temple team is in my opinion, is gonna be much better come tournament time than they are right now. Like they've got the pieces to be a really good team.
Yeah.
That score is crazy. That score is crazy. I'm hoping. Do you? And again, I haven't seen the footage. I don't know this. Do you think it was 1 or 2 players going off, or do you think it was just like a lot of guys on Wayne Country Day were putting up?
I think 15? It was a clash of styles, and Wayne Country Day kind of imposing their will.
Obviously, hitting shots from everywhere.
Oh yeah, and I think like the biggest thing for them is like when you play a team, when you have a versatile lineup like they have. Vasquez is the big that can dribble, pass, and shoot. When he's going up against those footers and just taking them out of the paint and spreading them out, and then you have Cooper and Waller that are able to get by anybody. That's spooky. And Wayne Country Day, that's a statement win. Another statement win in North Carolina. I didn't text you in the topics before. 1 of 1 Prep beat Northside by 21 last night. 1 of 1 is for real. For real. Like they had a really good game. You got that grin on your face for?
I'm just listening to what you have to say.
Okay, and then Gaston Christian almost beat Greensboro Day on the road last night.
Gaston Christian plays Combine on Saturday.
Gaston Christian's good, and they got a 6'11" kid that's really good. They got a young point guard, a Team Charlotte kid that is talented as hell, Cam Newman, and then they got Joe Ryan who can shoot. They got players over there, so that's gonna be a challenge for Combine.
Dude, Wayne Country Day, if they play even remotely close to that, like they're gonna beat Northwood
for sure. And Northwood is a preseason, I think, top 10 team.
And in the same light, like if Drake Powell takes over that game and Northwood win, I mean that's just gonna be honestly like that might end up being a really good game. Like that was kind of one in the afternoon that we weren't sure about, but like that's gonna be Wayne Country Day shows up too.
Oh yeah,
like their fans are coming to the game.
Yeah, they had a roaring student section last night too.
Yeah, I believe that.
So yeah, Wayne Country Day gets the win. 1 of 1 gets that win. Greensboro Day. I don't think there are any other notable high school games really in our state last night. But anything else next?
Back at Broughton.
I posted something last night. I truly owe my entire career to the Holiday Invitational, and now that it's official, that it's back at Broughton, it brought back a bunch of memories, and it feels really, really good that we're having it there. What does it mean to you to be able to bring it back to where it belongs?
I mean, I don't know what the I don't know what the public perception is in terms of like me and us and Broughton and all that. Like, Broughton has not been the easiest in the past to deal with, but also we bring thousands of people to their campus over 4 days between Christmas and it's a lot.
It is a lot.
I've always understood that why they aren't jumping for joy for it. I think us not being there last year, which was not a Broughton thing.
Nope.
Not a Broughton thing at all.
It was purely situational.
Yeah, it was, and I'll say exactly what it was. Wake County Wake County told us that if for some reason there's another COVID wave, and
which there was,
we're not allowed to have fans or we're at limited capacity, the price point for the gym is no different. Mm-hmm. Which is that
doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, you go bankrupt if you had to pay the price and then not have anybody there. So last year was what it was, but I mean, I think everyone at Broughton, I think Wake County, obviously everyone on our side, I think everyone's on the same page now that this is where it needs to be. And also every year, and it'll happen again this year, people are going to complain about the size and it's not big enough and whatever. Y'all should go to here, go to there. There is nowhere else. We've looked into rentals that it's not possible. Mm-hmm. Whether it be because the NCAA or because NC State just doesn't want to help figure it out, wherever the truth lies in that. But also, I've said this 100 times. You could have 4,000 people inside Broughton. Mm-hmm. You could have 1,000 people waiting outside. You go to rentals, you're still about 1,000 people short. Mm-hmm. So,
and you don't get the environment that you have it in a high school.
It turns from a high school basketball environment to a college basketball environment.
Which is, we want a high school
with a lesser brand of basketball.
We want a high school basketball environment.
Yeah, so I mean, again, it's you might not love it, but all the games are streamed live. You can watch them. And also, I hate to say it, but people who come early deserve to be rewarded.
Yep.
It's if you really
a sneaker release.
So you really want to get there. If you really want to make sure you're there and you're comfortable, just get there early. There's going to be good basketball literally all day. But yeah, I mean, Broughton is, until John Wall builds the gym in Raleigh, if and when that ever happens, this tournament, it doesn't belong anywhere else but Broughton. And
you think about the location, it's in the heart of the city.
It's my life fuel, man. Especially after what happened last year, I had COVID, I couldn't be there. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting in a hotel miles away.
Yeah.
Then what happened. I didn't get the life fuel that I usually get. And I work like a crazy person all year. Just those 4 days alone, I could have had the worst year ever.
And
those 4 days, it doesn't even need to be 4 days. It's just the moment of one first or second night, it's full, the doors are locked, everyone's into the game, the games are awesome. It's man, holy shit, this is what it's for. This is why I deal with all the crazy people I deal with, and I deal with all the nonsense, mm-hmm. and that. And that, a full gym anywhere else will never feel like a full gym at Broughton.
Ever. Yeah, kind of, for me at least, I posted something on Instagram last night. I went from a kid in the stand, what?
Finish this and then I'll tell you what.
Okay. I went from a kid in the stands at the event to helping you make sure everything goes right and calling the games and doing the interviews and all that stuff, and you got to tell me.
Okay, so I'm really bad at names, so I'm just gonna leave names alone. Some girl said hairline is crazy. This was an LOL.
Damn.
And then someone named Gabe said, "Bro looks like a rejected Pawn Star."
Damn, they're just baking my shit.
That is hilarious.
That is funny.
And he got the McDonald's jacket on. He's the mascot. He needs a scooter to reach half-off cupcakes at Walmart.
Damn, I'm losing weight.
These are the same two people. Connect the dots with your hairline. He cut the front of his head with a butcher's knife. Shout out to your barber, bro.
Damn, they're coming at my ass. That's hilarious.
The rejected Pawn Stars.
Guarantee it's Max.
Funny. I don't know who these two people are, but we're gonna let that ride. Funniest comment, if you can make me laugh out loud again, I'll send you a shirt. So far, the winning comment is rejected Pawn
Rejected Pawn Star is good.
That's good stuff right
That's
there.
funny as shit. Oh my God.
But yeah, I think that like the wall, again, and I said this yesterday too, like, here's the thing, and last year is like, no one's fighting.
No.
Like, if you even look like you might want to fight, I don't care, I'll give you a refund, you're out. Mm-hmm. If you fight, if you get aggressive, if you shove somebody, you put your hands on somebody, you're getting arrested. Mm-hmm. And don't get mad at me when you see the cop walk up to me and be like, hey, what do you want us to do here? And I'm like, take his ass to jail. Like, I'm on that energy. Mm-hmm. Call me a Ken, call me a Karen. If you fight Ken in my gym, you are out. Jail, don't do this shit anymore.
Yeah.
Like, this event is too valuable to have any stupid shit ruin it.
And we got heavy security.
Oh, well, I mean, again, like, we're putting our money where our mouth is in that regard. Like, there is, and they know what they're doing. And, no disrespect to anyone from last year, but like, the RPD will be prepared for whatever might happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but it's exciting to.
Buffalo Bills was a restaurant.
Buffalo Bills?
That's pretty good. Gabe C., I don't know who you are, but if you go to Twitter, find me at Hoop State Web and send me your address, I'll send you a shirt because you've made.
Make sure you send him one that has my face on the back of it.
Yeah.
Just so I can stay with him.
You know what? That's a great idea.
Yeah, just so he can.
We'll send him just a shirt of your face with the McDonald's logo.
Just me, just a picture of me in the hoodie, like a plain headshot. Oh my goodness. This is an all-American hoodie too. Eric Emanuel designer shit.
Whoever the girl is that's talking, it's a fake. I can tell you right now, it's a little kid hiding behind a girl account.
Oh, nice.
It's very obvious.
Yeah, that's cool.
Jeff Saturday, and I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Jeff Saturday is?
No.
So Jeff Saturday was the center for the Colts when Peyton Manning was there.
Yeah, okay.
Jeff Saturday was working in TV, and on Tuesday of last week, got hired as the interim head coach of the Indianapolis Colts.
What happened to their coach?
He got fired. They're having a bad year.
Okay.
And, Jeff was one of the best players to ever play there, and is like kind of a drinking buddy of the owner, or a friend of the owner. Irsay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Notorious delinquent. The media bashed everything about this. Like,
for them hiring the player.
Like, how can you hire this guy? He has never been a coach before. Yada, yada, yada. This is... There's the racial element, like this is a white guy that got hired over a bunch of more qualified black guys, all valid points. And then they were.
They hire. Correct me if I'm wrong. The point of the hire is to survive the season.
Yeah, it was an interim hire.
Right, like they're gonna go do a legitimate coaching search.
Yeah, and if he does well, he'll probably be a part of it.
Right, but do you think they hired him with that assumption, or they hired him like, look, just
keep this shit
right. Keep us afloat.
That's here. What it was.
Yeah,
and
because it seems like a fan favorite move.
Yeah,
like our fans will like him. We don't like. Are they tanking? Are they tanking for draft picks at this point?
No, not really. Like,
playoff contention.
No, they're kind of in that middle.
So it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter kind of how many games they win or lose.
And people are getting mad at Jeff Saturday for even accepting the job, which I think is crazy. Because if you get offered the opportunity to coach, you take it. Jeff Saturday tweeted like a couple weeks ago, wow, the Raiders are terrible, because he's like an analyst.
Yeah.
So their first game, they play the Raiders, and they win.
Yeah. Thank God. Because that would have been rough if they had lost.
They win, and he had some speeches that fired me up, like pregame and postgame. So you're someone that didn't know anything about the story, what do you make of this whole ordeal? Because it's become a really big story in the media now.
I mean, I think unexpectedly having to fire your coach because he's not performing. And what are we? I mean, this is in the middle. Is it literal middle of the season? Or
literally like halfway through the year.
Yeah, halfway through, right? So I think teams make mistakes when they try to fill the void right away.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this is going to be our guy moving forward. To me, if I'm owning a team, if I'm in charge of a team, I do the same thing. Let's hire a guy the players can get behind, that our fans will love, regardless of if he wins or loses. And if he blows our mind, because here's the thing, even if he coaches, he's great all year, and he does a great job, they'll probably hire him. He probably won't last long.
No.
And like that's not it's super hard to have that job, and you don't just get thrust into it and like cycle in right away. Like I imagine this whole season they have a team of people looking for who their next coach is going to be.
Yeah, and then I think
if he loves coaching, maybe the move is start knocking on college doors. Like, hey, I did this, it went great. Like I want to get in this, but like starting as an NFL head coach, especially in a situation like this, it's like,
all right.
I would imagine in the meeting when they're hiring, they were like, do your best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if we lose every game, better draft position. If we mess around and start dancing with the wild card position or something, like, everyone's going to be obsessed with you.
Yeah. And then I think the funniest part that, like, the point that I've heard that is just so funny, like, I'm sure you're aware, like, NFL coaches, like, during the season, like, it's like 95 hours a week. Like, they're in the office. It's nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
Does this kind of show you, like, maybe they're spending a little too much time, and the time you put in necessarily, like, you could do 70 hours a week instead of 95.
Totally.
And it's not going to have that much of a difference on result.
No.
Like, it just shows, like, people like Rex Ryan and there are other former coaches, like, really genuinely upset by this hire because it's like he didn't earn this.
It's the middle of the year.
It's interim.
Also, how much do you think they're paying him?
Probably not a lot. Probably like half a mil.
Pennies on the dollar compared to if they had to hire a real guy.
Yeah, so.
I mean, this is literally like, put your finger in the dam and keep the shit from leaking. Like, I guarantee you this was a financially based as well as fan-based decision. Who are our fans going to be happy with these tickets they have already bought?
Yeah. I can't get over rejected Pawn Star.
Rejected pawn. So here's the thing I wanted to ask you, because you're like aware of the online thing. So the fact that our chat is going toxic,
I love it.
that's a good thing, right?
Love it.
That means we're starting to pop.
Yeah.
Because the chat only turns toxic for people that start to pop.
No, like, I'm with it. Like, if you can say something on there, I've probably heard it in real life, and I'm comfortable enough with myself to keep it rolling. Like,
well, also like these are funny, but like. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. You're not losing your hair. It's like a hair.
I am a little bit, but not that bad.
I mean, bro, there's
way worse out there.
So making hairline jokes is funny, but it also is like not really. I can't imagine it hurts your feelings very much.
No, not really. The Pawn Star one was funny.
Yeah, there's been more. We'll let you.
I'll read through them later.
Yeah, we'll let you read through it later.
Is it from the same two characters?
Yeah. The guy with the terrible grammar said that you got a Rocky Mountain hairline. That's all right.
That's fine.
Right. That's fine. But yeah.
Did he spell it correctly?
He got the Rocky Mountains hairline. Yeah, ish.
Progress, baby.
So in terms of programming,
yeah.
I hate to say this, but the last episode of Road to the Rafters will not come out tonight. Yeah, I know. Episode 10 is the very last episode of the series. It is the Farmville Central episode. I am not going to compromise. The content so far has been so good. I'm not going to compromise the last chapter to get it out super. So Monday, we got events, we got a lot of stuff going on. I'm sorry because I wanted it to be consecutive, but we had 9 in a row. It's not bad. The 10th episode needs to be right.
And the 10th episode is?
It's Farmville's at the end. So yesterday was Wilson Prep's the end. The day before that was JL Chambers the end. The last episode 10 is Farmville plays Kinston in the Final Four. And then J.M. Robinson at Chapel Hill.
Got you.
So yeah, it's coming Monday. If somehow I get it done before that, I'll release it right away. But Monday is going to be that. We are live tonight, free on YouTube from Combine, and they play
HA Prep
from Durham. This weekend, Friday and Saturday, we're live from Combine Academy. We're live from Greenfield School, and we're live from Charlotte Country Day. Combine has an event with DME National and Winston-Salem Christian and Raleigh Christian.
Gaston Christian.
Gaston Christian. It should be some really good games there. 252 tip-off at Greenfield is loaded. And the George Lynch Invitational at Charlotte Country Day has a ton of great games, and what hopefully will be an excellent game between West Charlotte and Oak Hill on Saturday. All of that is live at hoopstatelive.com. If you go to the hoopstate.com, there's blog pages with all the info you're going to need. I mean, it's nonstop basically from now until the season ends. So
yeah, no, for sure. I know we get a little baby break in early January, but yeah. So,
anything else for you?
I can't really think of anything. Sorry we couldn't bring the pizzazz that we had yesterday. We don't have any angry coaches calling us in. So
I will say that, like, based on conversations of how we're Rod and then what happened yesterday, like, I'm not saying we're gonna have battles, but I do think we're gonna start getting more people calling in involved with the last like right now we're gonna end early. I think moving forward, like the last 15 minutes or so, we'll just take calls.
Yeah.
Hopefully that doesn't get too squirrely, but we'll.
Well, I know Alex Carmano said he wanted to call in at some point, so he'd be.
Yeah, legitimate people know, of course. But I mean, even if like we take fan calls, questions or whatever,
we need to get NC Hoopers. That's the one.
Having him with a once a week segment would be hilarious. The idea here is like this is wide open, so like anything is possible. With
I wish Hugo didn't have class.
Yeah, or even calling in from school would be funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's we'll be live again tomorrow from 1 to 2. We appreciate y'all. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. We are like 30 people away from 20,000. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of new merch at hoopstatestore.com. Twitter at the Hoopstate. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go try out for Pawn Stars.
Please go do that, dude. We'll make our own. You know what? Don't try out for nothing. We'll create our own Pawn Stars.
That sounds good with me.
We'll see y'all tomorrow.